What the hell is the Eighth Amendment? Jeff here, and I have a question. How much punishment is too much punishment? The Eighth Amendment answered that, and it does not waste words. It says, and I quote, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. Let's read that again. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. And you may be asking, what the hell does that mean? Translation, the government cannot bankrupt you, cage you without reason, or torture you. At least not legally. Sounds obvious, right? Not so fast. This is not just about medieval torture devices. It's about bail so high it keeps you locked up before trial. Civil fines that strip everything from you. Punishments that feel more like vengeance than justice. And for my Christians out there, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. This little amendment does more work than people realize. It is the line between a justice system and a government-run horror show. This amendment, America actually copied it from the British, even though we fought a war against them. Yes, really, our founding fathers did not invent this out of nowhere. They pulled it from the British. The English Bill of Rights of 1689 had the same warning about cruel and unusual punishments. And the American colonists said, we'll take it. And also your tea goes in the harbor. Let's not mince words. Colonial justice was savage. People got branded, flogged, and publicly shamed. And the guys writing the constitutions had lived through it all. Madison especially wanted a barrier between everyday people and the rage of the state. So they wrote it in plain English. No excessive bail, no insane fines, and no barbaric punishments. Now, bail isn't a bribe. It's a right. Now, let's talk about bail. It's all popular in the news with no bails and stuff like that for different crimes. Now, let's talk about bail. Bail is supposed to be a promise. You say to the court, here's some money so that you can trust that I will come back. But the government can't set bail so high it keeps you locked up just because you're poor. And that's something people have been dealing with back and forth with a lot of like these cash bail places and stuff like that. In the Supreme Court case of Stack v. Boyle, the court said $50,000 was too much for some people charged with organizing. They were union organizers. In Salerno, the courts also said that in some cases, like when someone is dangerous, bail might not be allowed at all. That's legal too, when they say you've been remanded. So no, the Eighth Amendment does not guarantee bail in every case. It's not blanket. But it does make sure the bail system can't be used to crush you, even though some would argue it has in different ways. Now, how much is too much? The fine line of fines. We've all had speeding tickets. Everyone pretty much has. Now we shift to fines. Because let's be honest, some governments treat traffic violations like a cash grab. The excessive fine clause stops states from using tickets and fees as legal theft, even though you have civil asset forfeiture. And I'm going to butcher his name. In Bachurian, the government tried to seize $357,000 because the guy failed to report it when leaving the country. The maximum fine was $5,000. The court said that was outrageous. In Tibbs v. Indiana, the police took a Land Rover for a low-level drug offense. Again, the court said no. The government is not supposed to turn your wallet into a punching bag, although they do. Civil asset forfeiture, I'm going to probably do a video on that later as well. Now, cruel and unusual, the death penalty on trial. This is where the Eighth Amendment really gets tested and tested hard. Cruel and unusual punishment. Now, let's hit these highlights because this will show you sometimes the state does not like you. Williams v. United States. 15 years of hard labor for a document crime. That was ruled excessive. And the hard labor, you can assume, was from the early 20th century. Trop v. Dulles. The government tried to take a man's citizenship for deserting during war. The Supreme Court said that was too far. They tried to strip citizens of their citizenship. Now, here's an interesting one. Furman v. Georgia. The court stopped the death penalty in the 70s for being used too randomly. That was where the national moratorium on the death penalty happened. Then you have another case from Georgia, Gregg v. Georgia. After states fixed their laws, the court brought the death penalty back. They had to fix their laws to where it wasn't random, it was uniform. Now you have Atkins v. Virginia. No executing people with intellectual disabilities. I think we can all agree that that is pretty fair. If you don't have the requisite mental capacity to understand why you're being injected with poison, it is what it is. You don't deserve it. Roper v. Simmons. No death penalty for kids under 18. Although once you're over 18, you're an adult. Kennedy v. Louisiana. You cannot execute someone for raping a child unless there is also murder. I don't agree with that. I gotta be real. If you rape a child, you should die. You are not redeemable. Florida actually has that, I believe. And I think Trump passed an executive order as well. Over time, the court started using the phrase, "you will hear again." Evolving standards of decency, whatever the hell that means. The Constitution grows up slowly, but it does grow up, as we all do. The amendment that walks into prisons. The Eighth Amendment is not just about sentencing. It walks into the prison system too. In Brown v. Plata, the court told California to stop cramming inmates into spaces like livestock and ignoring medical care. I bet they still do that to this day anyway. In Graham v. Miller, they said kids can't automatically get life without parole, which there should be some nuance to that, and I can do a TikTok live about that over on my TikTok page. The government can't forget your humanity just because you are behind bars. This amendment forces the justice system to ask, are we punishing? Are we rehabilitating? Or are we torturing? Punishment and rehabilitation can go hand in hand. Torturing cannot. And now let's ask why the Eighth Amendment still kicks ass today in 2025. The Eighth Amendment is the quiet bodyguard in your corner. You might not notice it, but it steps up when things get ugly. It's like that dog that lays there and doesn't do anything, but the minute stuff gets a little ugly with you, it comes to your aid. It is the pit bull that we have in our back pocket. It tells the government, you can punish, but you can't humiliate. You can fine, but you can't destroy. You can jail, but you cannot forget that those are human beings. Even now, we see debates about lethal injections, overcrowded prisons, and juvenile sentencing. The Eighth Amendment is not frozen in 1791. It grows with us. And thank God it does, because the government still needs limits and still needs stops. Now, I think lethal injection is cruel and unusual punishment. This is just my opinion. I think we should do firing squads. It's very fast and there's nothing to it. The Japanese also have a great way of executing people too. It's interesting. Liberty does not scream, it whispers. But this amendment makes sure the government has to listen. So, thank you for tuning in today. If you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, please give me a subscribe, like, or comment. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, iHeart Radio, or Spotify, please recommend and follow. Until next time, when we hit on the 9th Amendment, which not a lot of people talk about. Stay free, stay informed, and stay accountable. Have a great day.